Hey everybody, week 5, beautiful box this week. I feel like now is when like the volume of the box really starts to increase. I know we talked about it before with like newbies those first few weeks. Sometimes the box doesn't have as much and it kind of like grows as the season progresses. So I feel like we're definitely to that point. Few quick like housekeeping things. Chicken and pork share, those folks, that is next week, not this week. This was supposed to be a cheese week. It is week A, but because of the heat and some transportation issues, we will be getting cheese next week, week 6. So just kind of stay tuned for that. You're not gonna miss out or get any less cheese over the season, but just got like pushed back a week. Winner of the Kohlrabi challenge is Beth Felger. I might be chopping up that last name, but congratulations, Beth. You are the winner of the Kohlrabi challenge. She had a beautiful post with grilled kohlrabi using a bunch of Mediterranean herbs. It looks super tasty and also a great way to enjoy some of those fresh herbs that we have over the summer. So congratulations to Beth. If you didn't get your prize this week, it will be there next week. And then just a reminder, our farmers are taking that 1 week off in August. So that's like a pause for the CSA season. It's not necessarily 1 week less of the CSA season, it's just a pause. And honestly, a lot of us really appreciate that pause because it kind of allows us to catch up with what's in our fridge. All right, so week 5, featured veggie this week is Swiss chard. So let's talk about that first. That's this beautiful like leafy green. Can be enjoyed raw or cooked. I would say most people end up cooking it, but some people use it as like a wrap for a bread substitute or for like a sandwich. You can eat the stem, but if you're going to enjoy it raw, I would probably go ahead and cut off that stem and you could enjoy it as like a wrap with some deli meat or chicken salad, egg salad, that type of thing. You can eat the stem when you cook it. When you go to prepare it, you would cut off the stem. Let's say you were going to do like a stir fry or a saute or something, and you would chop the stem up, throw this in first like you would like onions, garlic, that type of thing, and allow it to cook for a few extra minutes before you add in the leaves. The leaves cook down so quickly, kind of like spinach or something like that. So to store this guy, we are going to use our like dry and dirty kind of mentality here. I'm going to cut off the ends of these stems just to allow for a little bit more room. I'm going to use a green bag if I have one that's big enough, because we also have all this kale here. I might need to split it into 2, but if your Swiss chard is a little bit damp when you get it home, I would probably just throw a paper towel in that green bag. I would try to use this up within the next like 5-6-ish days. Otherwise it might get a little bit bitter, but that paper towel will help to absorb some of that excess moisture in the bag, and that will really help too. If you really have no idea what to do with the Swiss chard and you're overwhelmed with the greens, you can absolutely blanch it and throw it in the freezer and use it this winter. It can also go into those green cubes that I posted about. So that is Swiss chard. Other kind of fun vegetable we have this week are these Spanish black radishes, which are a little spicy. They've got a little kick to them, but kind of cool. They're a really old vegetable. I mean, they have been around for a really long time, like ancient Egypt. So when I think of like people eating different vegetables a really long time ago, this is kind of what we were talking about. We're not talking about like fresh cucumbers and fresh broccoli and things that have kind of been like tailored and altered to grow better and taste better and all that stuff. So these are Spanish black radishes. They have been around for a very long time. They do have a little bit of a spice and a kick to them, so I think it's kind of a fun challenge to figure out maybe what you're going to do with these guys. They're not going to go bad fast. So if you don't feel like eating these right away, you're just going to store them in a green bag or even just in your vegetable drawer. They'll be fine. They're not like a high-risk item. And they're going to be good for the next month, if not few months. I would just store them in a green bag or in your veggie drawer. When you go to use them, I would probably peel off the skin for most recipes. It tends to be a little rough. You're probably gonna end up cooking these for most purposes. I did put a recipe with these radishes and potato salad in the newsletter this week that I've tested out. Still has a kick, a little bit different, but I like the mix with potatoes versus just the radishes. If you want to decrease some of the spiciness to the radishes, I would peel them, chop up the white inner flesh part, and salt it and let it set for a little bit, and the salt will decrease some of the spiciness. So kind of just a fun thing to try. You could try combining it with some other veggies if you wanted to, but I think it's cool. That's like legit what a vegetable used to kind of be like. So we've got those radishes. Other new things this week, we've got beautiful cabbage. Cabbage is not like a vegetable that's going to go bad fast. It's going to be good for a month, if not several months in that vegetable drawer. You could just throw it like this in that veggie drawer. That's probably what I'm going to do. When you go to use it, if the outer leaves are yellow or brown, you just peel off the outer leaves and then give it a good rinse. You're going to cut off this core here, slice it in half, get rid of that middle part there, and use the leaves. This is great for slaw. It's also great for a stir fry. You've got some great ingredients for a stir fry this week. You've got cabbage, broccoli, kale, scallions. Maybe you have some cilantro from last week, so we've got some great stir fry type ingredients. But that's the cabbage. Enjoy this raw or cooked. Just store as is in your veggie drawer, especially if you're short on green bags. And then everyone's got summer squash this week, probably different varieties. I've got this patty pan variety here. All of the summer squash, yellow squash for the most part can be used interchangeably. If you've got these patty pan guys, you're just going to store them dry as is in a green bag. And then when you go to use them, you're gonna cut off the squash part and leave that, forget about that center core. You can't spiralize these summer squash like you can some of the longer ones, but you can definitely chop them up, roast them, grill them, stir fry them, all that good stuff. Use them in baked goods if you want. So I'm going to store these in a green bag. And then let's see, we've got cucumbers are new. You can store these in a green bag if you want. I would just store them dry, unwashed. Give them a little rinse off before you use them. You don't have to peel these cucumbers if you typically peel your cucumbers from the grocery store. These are not waxed, so there's not that weird outer coating. You can peel them if you want to, but you definitely don't need to. So I'm going to throw these guys in here. There is a great cucumber beet salad in the newsletter this week. So if you're not sure what to do with these beets and you like cucumbers, I would give that a try. And then we do have some beautiful beets. These are the longer ones. You're just gonna store them dry and dirty in the refrigerator, in a green bag, fridge smart container, in a Tupperware container. They're not gonna go bad quickly on you. They're just kind of like those typical root vegetables. When you go to use them, you're gonna rinse them off, and you're gonna have to peel them at some point. So I actually like to steam them or roast them in a baking pan with a little bit of water. I roast them with the skin on, and then when they're done, the skin just totally falls off. You can also use a veggie peeler and get that skin off and then roast them after. You can roast them, steam them. You can also enjoy them raw. You could peel them, grate them up, throw them on top of a salad, put them in veggie fritters. Not too stressful with the beets because you got a little bit of time. They're not going to go bad. Our group is also known for loving some beet muffins, and I actually don't think I put that in the recipe list this week, but I will the next time we have beets. So just throw them in the fridge if you're not sure what to do. These are going to go in this fridge smart container for me because I also still have some radishes and a couple carrots from previous weeks in there. And then this beautiful kale, I need a big green bag for this. Kale we're gonna store just dry and dirty as is. I'm just gonna go ahead and cut off these stems just to allow for some extra room. I'm gonna store these guys as is. When I go to use it, I'm gonna rinse off in some cold water. I'm gonna fold this leaf in half and cut off this stem. This stem can just be composted. You could throw it in your veggie scrap bag if you wanted to. I would not rinse off the kale and wash it until you're ready to use it, just to buy yourself some more time. This technically is edible, but you really, really got to cook it down a lot. Otherwise, it's kind of woody. The kale itself can be enjoyed raw or cooked. If you're going to use it raw in a salad, I would recommend massaging your kale. So you basically get all these leaves, put them in a big bowl, a little bit of oil, a little bit of salt, and you literally massage the kale, but it starts to break down the kale and it makes it much more enjoyable if you're going to eat it raw. A little bit softer, brings out that bright green flavor. Kale, if you usually don't like kale, is a lot different from a local farm because it's not nearly as bitter. So when it's just freshly harvested, it tends to be a little bit sweeter versus a little bit more bitter. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're looking at what to use. Is that the longer this sits in your fridge, the bitterer it could be. Bitterer, I don't know if that's the word. More bitter it could be. Alright, so that's in a green bag. And then we've got this handful of basil, which some people have already pointed it out. This is a pretty big handful of basil. And you've got a couple different options with basil. The biggest thing is that basil is a temperature sensitive herb, so it does not like the refrigerator. If you put it in the refrigerator, it's going to turn black, not going to last nearly as long. My favorite way to store basil is I wrap it in a paper towel and then put it in a Ziploc bag and actually store it on the counter. So you could do that. The other option is that if your basil has like some decent stems, you could put it in a little vase or in a little cup of water like you would a flower and store it on your counter that way. I just wouldn't put it in the refrigerator. So because we have like a decent volume here, I'm going to have like 2 batches. I'm going to wrap this one up and put it in this bag. And if I change the paper towel out every couple days, maybe every 3-4-ish days, this is going to last on my counter like this for at least a week, if not longer. I think the longest I've gone is like 10 days. So that's just kind of an easy way to store your basil. So just don't put it in the fridge. In a bag, wrapped in a paper towel, or like a flower. And then we've got broccoli this week. These leaves are totally edible. You're going to store this entire thing in the refrigerator. Remember, broccoli is a vegetable that sometimes like hides some extra little bugs or critters. So make sure you give it a good wash, or extra precaution is fill up a bowl with some water, sprinkle some sea salt in there, and let this broccoli soak in there for a couple minutes, and it will draw any of those friends out. So if you have time to do that, I would. Same thing, sooner the better with broccoli. So I would try to get to the broccoli in the next 3-4 days. If it starts to get to be over a week, it tends to be a little bit more bitter. I'm going to store this guy in a green bag. And then last vegetable of the night are these green onions. So we should definitely cut off the tops of these guys, and the tops of these scallions are so good for us. They're loaded with magnesium and so many minerals. So I would try to use them if you can. You can chop them up and throw them in a Ziploc bag and put them in your freezer and add them to like soups or stews, stir fries over the winter. You can also throw them in your veggie scrap bag, which we've kind of talked about before. That bag where you can put the tops of carrot or ends of carrots or onion peels. So I'm going to throw mine in this veggie scrap bag that I have in my freezer to make broth at some point, to give it some good flavor and also some extra nutrients. And then these guys actually should also be stored like a flour. And I still have so many in the past few weeks, so I'm just going to throw all these guys together. If you don't want to store them this way, you could absolutely just store them in a green bag if you wanted to. Remember, these are also like a bag and freeze item, so you could also slice them up, throw them in a freezer safe bag, and enjoy them at some point this winter. I don't even know if I have room for these in here. I really got to use these guys up. So if you do store them, like a flower like this, I'm just going to make this happen just because this is the way I tend to store them, but I really should probably get some of these guys in the freezer. Make sure you throw that bag over top so that way they don't dry out, right? So this is what you got to do. Keep it front and center in your fridge so you know that it's there and it reminds you to use it. All right, and then fruit share this week. We've got rhubarb. There are some like berry rhubarb type recipes in the newsletter. So when you get this home, it can be stored for a decent amount of time. I just cut off the ends and these leaves. And you don't have to do this. It's more just like space for me at this point, I think. But you should wrap this up. I've had some people say they wrap it in like a wet paper towel first. Other people just throw it in some foil, but you should wrap this up. So I'm going to wrap it in some foil to kind of store it. It's going to be good for at least a week or so. Rhubarb, if you're like, I don't want to bake that right now, you're just going to chop it up, throw it in a bag, and put it in your freezer. It's a bag and freeze item, and you can bake with it this winter. And then we've got cherries, which obviously need to be pitted. I'm really liking these containers that I have right now. I can rinse everything off and kind of leave them. We've got cherries, need to go in your refrigerator. And then blueberries as well. You can store kind of as is and rinse them off before you use them, or rinse them off and then put them in your refrigerator. But remember, berries, if you can't get through this in 1 week, bag and freeze. Throw these guys in a freezer safe bag, get them in the freezer. Cherries you would pit first and then put them in the freezer. All right, so that is week 5. Week 6, you've got cheese coming, and it will be week B. All right, have a good one.